Good afternoon, patriots, floaters, salty army, Americans, gun owners. Do you own a gun? Did you want to? You may want to know about Biden's plans for you if you fall into that category. This is from the National File, and this was actually done on Monday morning. You didn't see it because you heard about silver, you heard about this, that, the other. You just didn't hear about House Bill 127. They would require a psychological examination that you'd pass. Yeesh. We're already out. Liability insurance for gun ownership, implementing that restriction massively, retroactively, and creating a registry out of all of the people that own a gun. This is a new piece of legislation being advanced by U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, a Democrat from Texas, would create prerequisites to gun ownership that include a psychological evaluation, liability insurance, in addition to a full regimen of registration information. She announced and introduced H.R. 127, otherwise known as the Sabika Sheikh Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. The legislation named for a victim, 17-year-old Pakistani foreign exchange student, who was among 10 students and staff killed in a high school shooting in Texas in 2018. Okay. Seems a little propaganda-y, then. If you're going to name the bill after her, you're using the emotion of something that happened in 2018 to pass legislation in 2021. I understand that on its face that may seem normal, but when you're talking about undoing constitutional rights given to you by your creator and protected by the Constitution, you don't think that has a reason to be done with it's an emotional plea because it can't be a logical or rational one. They say the legislation would require any gun owner to provide the make, model, and serial number of the firearm. So that's one. Any information about the gun itself. The identity of the person who owns the gun. The date that the firearm was purchased by the gun. Where the firearm was purchased and where it will be stored, where it is. We need to know where it is at all times. Where you are at all times. Where the gun is, who owns the gun, where the gun is. What? Why? The ATF needs to know where your gun is at all times. Not just that you own one. Which kind of gun? Where is it? How do you keep it? What's the code to the lockbox? How do I get into your safe? Where do you keep your spare keys? That sounds a little more than Orwellian, right? This is a complete overreach. So I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's scary enough that they're trying. After they said, no one's coming for your guns. No one's coming for your guns. Show them this, because they clearly are. It would also require the gun owner to provide timely notice specifying the identity of any person at any time of any period of time during which the firearm will be loaned. So if I go shooting with someone and I hand it over, I'm technically going to be supposed to tell them this person was also using this firearm. It says also included in the proposed legislation, specifically in section C1AIIL. Odd. Are the requirements for a psychological evaluation and liability insurance. So it goes as follows. You must undergo a psychological evaluation conducted in accordance with paragraph 2, and that the evaluation does not indicate that the individual is psychologically unsuited to possess a firearm. So if you have a psych test and they say, we don't feel that he is perfectly suited to have a firearm, then you can't have one. It doesn't seem as much like there is a, hey, we found this really terrible thing that means we need to go and stop him from having a firearm. It is, in order to have one, now you have to go and get a mental evaluation done. The scientific community that is running the show right now with COVID, the ones who don't know anything about anything, and that the information experts change their opinions from week to week, those people will determine if you're mentally fit to exercise a constitutional right. This will not fly. But the second piece, demonstrating that on the issuance of the license, the individual will have, in effect, an insurance policy issued under that subsection. So, military-style weapons, they say, now have to have insurance, their own policy. Like you drive a car, you have auto insurance. If you own a gun, you have to have military-style insurance. This is retarded. Sorry, not sorry, it's stupid. And the taxes that they're going to put on rifles, it's not even included here. They said over and over, no one's coming for your guns. No one wants to take your guns away. But if they limit your access to guns and they make it impossible for you to own one, then what do you call that? What do you call the Voting Rights Act? And what do you call the grandfather laws? What do you call obstacles to voting in the Jim Crow South? They didn't make it illegal for black people to vote. They just made it so impossible that they didn't. The government will now use that same strategy against people that want to own a firearm legally. Yeah, it's your right to own one, but we're going to make it so impossible for you to do so, put so many hoops up for you to jump through, that you decide it's not really even worth it at the end. That's what they want. Won't happen. I bet you a lot of lead will be traded before this debate is put to rest. And by the way, I thought all the smart progressives over the summer watched the country burn down in riots and loots, and they said, no, guns, that debate is over now. Everyone should be able to have a gun because of what BLM and Antifa did to normal American citizens during the summer. I heard that from people on the left. Will I hear them still say that now? I hope. Let me know what you say in the comments below. Again, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch and help us all keep America afloat.